Today we're going to show you how to transfer PDF or AutoCAD drawings from those files into Illustrator. First of all, you might want, since we don't have a sample project, we're just going to make one up right now. So if we just go ahead and make a little object, 24 foot, 24 foot, okay, to make a little box. That's about a building size, I guess. 24 foot, 24 foot. That's our first cube project, was it not? Okay. So we'll draw something else, just so that we have other objects with it. 24 foot radius. Oops. Control Z. 12 foot radius circle. We could even offset that to have more line work. Offset. Specify distance 12. We'll do something like that, and maybe we'll draw a line of some sort. Oops. Line of some sort, so that we have some other stuff that we can deal with. Okay. With this, I'm going to change some of these line types and line weights, so that when it goes into Illustrator, we could see what happens. Okay. So we're going to take this object and give it a few different line weights, line type. So since this is a sample project, we're going to just keep it simple and just name it thick, thin, and maybe, whoops, mid. Okay. And I'm not going to attach any layers or attach any colors to this because we don't really need it. Line type, we're going to do a line type called something dashed or whatever. Dash phantom, I don't know. Dash dot. Something like that. Okay. So with that, I have a few different layers. And for the thin one, I am going to, let's just say, give it the thinnest line weight so that this will show up in Illustrator as such. Okay? And for the thickest line weight, I'm just going to show something really large so that, again, I could show it in. So we'll see visually we could see what happens in Illustrator. Okay, so I give it a 2 millimeter, and then for the mid, we'll give it something in between. So I had pretty much 0.05 millimeter to 0.2, so I'll give it maybe a 1, or maybe I'll give it a 0.9 millimeter, somewhere around there, so it's like halfway. Okay, so there's my different line weights. For the dash dot, we're going to define the line. Oops, cancel. I'll just give it as keep this as a default line weight, but line type, I am going to create something new. So I'm going to load, and remember, never use the AutoCAD ISO line types, and we'll use something like a dash divide. Oh, divide might be good. Divide. Okay, and select that as the line type. So we have continuous line types and a divide for the dash dot. While I'm here, I might as well make a viewport EP and make that into a non-print layer. Okay, so for this object, I'm going to select this thing and then turn this into the thick object. And then for these guys, I'm going to turn this into the thin object, thin. And for this, oh, I missed a midpoint, huh? Okay. For this, I'll just give it the dash dot. Okay. So thick, thin, and mid. I'll put something in there for mid. Mid. And really, it doesn't really matter what I'm drawing, it's just an example, okay? So I have this thing, and there it is. If I put it into the layout, everything would show up as the correct line type and all that. And I'm going to turn it into, or turn this into an 1/8 inch scale. Okay. Turn that into a viewport so that it will not print. The viewport, I like to put it as color red so I could always identify it as color. Okay, and there it is. So I have this object. If I turn on the line weight display, it's pretty much what it is. Okay, I have this line as a default line weight. I have the thick, I have the mid, I have the thin. Let's get rid of that, and that's the object that I'm going to have. Okay, so from this I'm going to take that into Illustrator. So there's two ways to do this. I could bring in this DWG file and put it into Illustrator, or I could create a PDF file and put the PDF into Illustrator. There's pros and cons of both, but the lines are starting to blur because Illustrator is starting to read all these objects as lines instead of just images now. So what we'll do is prep this to put into Illustrator. Okay. So for this, I'm going to save this or print this plot into a PDF. So if I go into PDF, and it is a letter size, so we'll just keep it as a letter size. For now, I'm just going to keep it as a monochrome. So it'll just be a black and white drawing, and it'll be the layout. That's fine. 1:1 scale, because it's already an 1/8 inch scale. Okay, and then preview, and that's what I have. Enter, and I'll save. So save. Okay. Okay, so there it is. Drawing 1, layout 1, and actually I don't know where I save this. Okay, let's save this to, I'm just going to put it on my desktop for now. Okay. Okay, so I've saved it onto my desktop. All I have to do is find it on my desktop. Drawing 1, layout 1. There it is. Close tabs. Okay, so now that I save this as a PDF, I'll just keep it as is. If I wanted to put this thing in as an AutoCAD drawing in Illustrator, I'm going to have to save it as an older version of AutoCAD. Okay, so get it back into model space. There it is. I'm not going to show the line type thing because it bothers me. Okay, now I'm going to save this file as a older version of AutoCAD, because I believe that certain version of Illustrator, certain version of Adobe suites do not read the current versions of AutoCAD. So going back to 2007 or 2004 would be safe. So if I just go ahead and do that, And then I kind of tend to name it 2004 or whatever version that I saved it to, so that I know that this is an older version. And then I'm going to put it on my desktop as well. Save. Oh, before I do that, everything's okay. So save. Okay, so I have this saved as a 2004 version of the DWG file. Okay, so do something up to this point and should be okay. Now, I drew this thing because we don't have anything to give examples of, but basically this could be your floor plan, your elevation, all your other drawings that you used from your, like the hillside retreat project, which is what you're going to do. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so we'll see what happens with this file when we turn it into, or we place it into Illustrator.